Hi everybody! So I'm a little bit nervous about today's video because I'm gonna be recreating another kind of like a look inspired by art. I've talked about this before. I said I want to do it. I said I'm gonna do it, but I've been too pansy and scared to actually do it. But that is about to change today because I'm gonna do it. So I saw this picture of this crying lady. I don't know if it's like an angel or a saint or a virgin, or I don't really know. I have no idea. I'm not Catholic, but the Catholics honestly did pop off with some of their art and imagery. I actually found a few reference photos for this kind of look because, I don't know, I just wanted to have a variety of like options, things to mix and match. So I'll put them up on the screen. They're all very, very similar, but they're all different in their own little ways, and I'm just gonna kind of like put things together. So normally when I do like an application or a look on camera, I will start like fully primed, fully ready to go, and just like get into the eyes. That's like generally what I like to do. But this is definitely more of like a full face recreation, so I don't have any eyebrows on, and I do want to start with brows. So all of these brows are very sad, so I'm gonna just be kind of like reshaping my brow into something that resembles more of a sad brow. I'm gonna model mostly after this brow here because I like that shape where it kind of goes like up in the front, down, and then has that little arch, and I think I can achieve something like that with my natural brow. I do have more of an arched brow naturally, but I also have a very light colored brow and a pretty sparse brow. So I think it's gonna be relatively easy for me to manipulate the shape of my brow into being kind of like that like swooped kind of convex shape. I'm gonna be using the ColourPop Brow Boss pencil. I use this all the time. I'm gonna zoom in for this step just because I'm gonna be trying to explain things and I'm not great at explaining with words, but I'm better at showing because I'm stupid. So obviously this brow is gonna be a lot easier because it's a lot sparser down here, like at the bottom. So I'm gonna demonstrate it on this brow just because this is gonna be a lot trickier. First, I want to kind of map out where I want the front of my brow to be. And so, you know, if you're sad and crying, your brow kind of swoops up and it's like obviously a lot higher up. I'm just gonna start kind of like making little hair-like strokes. I'm only applying product halfway down into my brow. I'm starting it here. So all that hair right there, there's not gonna be any product on the lower half of the hair. And I think I'm gonna use concealer to kind of cover that hair up a little bit more. I don't wanna completely block out my brows just because I feel like that's just not what this look needs in my opinion. And I do want my brow to kind of like, as you could see in the picture, it kind of swooped down and then went back up. So I'm not gonna have any product actually through the middle of my brow. And then I'm gonna add a little more to the tail. And then I'm gonna be using brow gel to kind of like push the actual hairs into where I want them to be. But for now, I'm just using the ColourPop Brow Boss pencil just to create the shape and add some shadow. I am gonna apply a little bit of product on the middle area of my brow, but just on the like the lower part, just to further accentuate that convex shape, that kind of bowl shape I'm trying to create. Connect that to the tail. I want to use a little bit of the NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Pen. This gives a lot more like, I feel like realistic hair-like strokes because it's a lot thinner and it doesn't have that pencil texture. So after I've kind of like blended out and smoothed out that pencil, I just want to go in with this and kind of create new hairs where I want them to be. So I'm going to be kind of flicking this product up and in a little bit too. Okay, and I'm gonna just add a little bit out here too. Okay, so already, you know, if I step back, it looks really bushy. It does look sad, it looks straight, it looks kind of like upturned, but it looks a little too bushy in my opinion. It's getting there, but I'm gonna use a little bit of concealer, like I said, and just kind of cover the bottom because I don't want them to be so thick. All right, and then just with a flat brush, and a little bit of concealer. I'm gonna use the concealer to prime my eyes too, actually. So I'm gonna just, I was debating if I wanted to use this just like on the hairs itself, but I think I am gonna apply this to the skin as well, just because I haven't primed my eyes yet. But first I'm gonna start on the brow. Okay, I'm gonna just blend that out with this sponge. feel like that worked. It got a little harsh. That line got a little harsh. I'm gonna use the Lift and Snatch brow pen just to kind of blend this line that it created. I feel like that's about as good as it's gonna get, but look at that. Look at that difference. It kind of does look sad, right? I'm gonna do a little bit of concealer in here too. I'm just gonna kind of push it in, just right in here. I just really want to accentuate this kind of like upturned shape. So with the ColourPop Brow Boss gel, I'm just gonna move all of the actual brow hairs into the place that I want them to be. So obviously for the front of the brow, I want them up and in. For the middle, I want them kind of down and then straight out. And then for the tail, I don't want them bushy, I just want them kind of in place. I'm gonna do the other brow the same way, and then we'll move on to the rest of the look. Okay, so now both of the brows are on. Now that they're both on, it looks a little bit better in my opinion. I am gonna just use the concealer to prime my eyelids. Normally I don't like this. Normally I feel like this is not a good way to prime your eyes, but I'm not doing a very intricate eye look today, so I think concealer is fine for this. So all of these are pretty similar in that they have kind of a blush draping. All of the lids are pink and all of the blush pretty much is focused around this like whole entire area. Same with the nose, like all of these have kind of a pinker nose, some more than others. Some have more blush than others, a pink chin. Mostly a very trendy blush look for sure. I think it's supposed to be done in a way that looks like, you know, a puffy face from crying, so that's what I'm gonna do. So I want to use kind of like a pinky peach kind of color, and I don't have a blush that color just because I don't use blush like that. So I'm gonna go into this palette of singles that I have and see if there's something that'll work. So I did depot a whole ton of palettes recently. Unfortunately, I did not label any of these, so I do not know what these shades are called. And unfortunately, there's just no way to know what brand these are from either. So I will probably use these for this look and future looks, but I do apologize. I will not be able to tell you what palette they're from or what brand they're from because, dude, there's just absolutely no way to know. Anyway, I'm gonna use this peach kind of shade for my blush. Well, I say blush, but I actually mean blush and eyeshadow because I'm just gonna keep it all just like right there. So starting with the eyes, I'm just being kind of messy with it, just kind of blending it through kind of all over that eye area. And then also just to further accentuate the kind of like upturned sad brow, I'm gonna build it like right up to the brow just on this inner corner here. Do it on the other side before that starts creasing. Okay, and then with that same peachy shade, I'm just gonna start kind of draping that. I'm just keeping it right around the temple and then just right around the cheekbone. And I'm trying to keep it more in like a rounded shape. So normally blush would be applied like following the cheekbone like that. I just want to keep this right around the eyes. I kind of want it to look like, you know, if you're crying and you're rubbing your eyes like that, that's kind of the look I'm going for, you know? And then now I'm just kind of building and blending. I want it to be really, really, really soft, but also really intensely pigmented, just right around here. I like this one. I like how this one goes really far down, so I'm just trying to kind of follow that. I'm just taking different inspiration from the different photos. I like certain elements more in some than I do in others. That's why I wanted multiple reference photos. I think on camera this is pulling really peach, like really orange. In person there's definitely more pink to it, but I do know that my camera is not always accurate to how things actually are. Just know it's not super orangey peach, it's definitely pinky peach. All right, I'm just gonna follow the same technique over here. I think for like around the eyes, this looks pretty good. All of the photos have a little bit of blush on the chin and on the nose. I think this looks okay. I don't want it to be super, super, super heavy blush everywhere. Next, I'm just gonna add a little bit of definition to the eyes. Since this is a crying look and I'm trying to look kind of puffy, I'm gonna add a little bit of white to the lids because when you've been crying, your lids or at least for me, my lids get very puffy and my lids kind of stand out. It just added a little bit of like a highlight to the lid. And then I'm gonna do the same thing on the lower lash line. For me, that part of my eye gets very puffy too when I cry. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of definition to the eyes, just a little bit. I'm just gonna use kind of a tan shade. I want this to be very subtle, and I'm just gonna throw that kind of in the crease. This is literally just for definition. I'm not trying to construct like an eye look. I just don't want the eyes to be so flat. And I'm gonna use that same shade on the lower lash line, just right underneath where I placed that white, just to further enhance like the fact that I'm trying to look like I've been crying. Okay, now that I kind of look like a sad clown, it's time to do the tears. The tears are the part that I'm the most excited about. The tears are the part that drew me to do this look because I think they're so cute. They're little shiny gold tears. I found these on Amazon. They're just like little teardrop gems like this. They come in a variety of colors and like that's it. I don't really know what else to say about them. They do have a flat back, which is nice for gluing. However, they're like incredibly thick. You know what I mean? Like sticking them flat onto your skin isn't always like the best idea because they stick out so far. So you can kind of peel them open and take the teardrop out, but then the back is no longer flat. If you can see that, it's kind of faceted on the back. So then they're a lot closer to the skin, which is very nice, but then they don't lay flat. So you do have to be careful with like what angle you stick them on at. I don't know if this is useful information to anyone. It's just information that I wish I knew before I purchased these, but I still like them because they come in so many different colors. I'm gonna use gold ones. And then I found these gold circle gems, just assorted size gold gems that match like pretty perfectly to the tears. So I'm gonna use these as kind of like the tear trail, and then I'm gonna use this as the teardrop. I'm just gonna use kind of like a warm gold shadow to kind of map out where I want the tears to go. And all of these photos have different amounts of tears, different placements of tears. So I'm just gonna kind of wing it. I'm gonna use just a little nail daughter tool to apply the glue to my skin. And then I'm gonna use this to actually pick up and stick down the circle gems. This came with this. I literally think this is just a colored pencil, but I love it. I also did get this kind of tool to use with gems. It's more of like that wax tip. I think they both work and I like using them both, but I kind of prefer this. And if this is literally just a colored pencil, like how cool. I'm gonna put a little bit of glue on my skin. Actually quite a bit of glue on my skin. These teardrops are kind of large. Luna might come say hi. Hi honey, you wanna come on up? Hi, say hello Buna. Miss Luna, look how big she is. It's illegal. It's illegal for her to grow so big. Look at her. So the angle I'm trying to stick these on is so that straight on you can't really see the back. If I stuck them on the other way, then they'd kind of be facing like this instead of like this. Just because of the way that they're kind of shaped on the back, they don't want to sit flat. So for these, I think I'm going to use primarily the second and third smallest sizes. I might use a little bit of this size too, just because this one is so long. I might use a little bit of a bigger size just right up next to the teardrop. Actually, yes, I will. I don't know why I said I think, because that is what I'm gonna do. Oh good. There's snow blowing outside. I'm gonna zoom in just because with the lighting, I think it's just hard to see what I'm doing. I think that's a little easier. So I applied a little bit of glue. I'm just gonna stick the gems right onto that line of glue. That's as many of the like big sizes as I want to use. I'm gonna move on to the third smallest size right now. And I'm gonna apply that just like halfway up the remaining line. And then I'm just gonna be repeating that process of kind of drawing some glue on, sticking the gems on, and then that's it. Okay, and then this is where I'm gonna end with the like medium size. And then because these two are obviously a lot shorter than the middle one, I'm not gonna use this larger size at all. I'm just gonna start with more of like the medium size. And I'm gonna just keep working with this size until I'm ready to move on to the small with all of them. So I'm gonna go through and do the same steps over here. Okay, and then I'm gonna go the rest of the way with the second smallest size. Okay, so that is what it looks like when all of the gems are placed. I think it's really pretty. There's some areas that I kind of wish I would have applied them a little bit differently, but overall that's pretty cute in my opinion. I like how sparkly it is. It is very tedious. So I'm gonna do the other side off camera and then I will come back for like the finishing touches. Okay, so this side turned out much better in my opinion. I just like the way that the tears are falling over here. So photos will be taken from this side. I want to do lashes and I wasn't sure if I should or not, but I consulted the reference photos and all of them have like pretty full bomb lashes. I don't want to use a full strip lash just because I feel like that's not really like appropriate for this look. I don't know. I just want to use like individual lashes. So I have short size, medium size, and I'm just gonna apply mascara to my top lashes, not my bottom lashes, and then fill in with individuals. These are just Ardell. Using the Lash Princess in the green tube, the best mascara. I'm just gonna throw that over my top lashes. And I have just a little drop of lash glue on the top of this container here. I'm gonna pick up some lashes and I'm holding the lash in this little tool. I'm just gonna dip it into the lash glue and then I'm just gonna place that right along the lash line. So it's just resting right along the lashes there. And I'm just gonna repeat that process along the whole entire lash line. This is gonna be another tedious thing. I'm gonna use medium size until about like the halfway point, and then I'm gonna move to short size. I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. I do plan to do a whole lash video at some point, and I can touch a little bit more in depth about these individual lashes, but for now, this is just something I'm gonna be doing off camera, but I'm just gonna be following that same step. Just dip it into a little bit of lash glue and then apply it right intertwined with my natural lashes. So I'm gonna do that and then come back. Okay, that took a long time, but the lashes are on and I'm really glad I decided to go with individual lashes. So I wanna do lip and then like some final touches. All of these lips are sort of similar but also different, but for the most part like they're like kind of deep berry. One of them is kind of peachy and kind of matches the blush. I recently threw away pretty much like all of my lip products, but I do have this NYX Slip Tease. It's like a deep berry and I want to see what this looks like. It still smells okay. I kind of like this. Oh, I forgot to say what the shade is. It's called Fire Dancer. And I'm just using my finger to really blend it out. I just want it kind of like a bitten, kind of like tinted look and not so much of like an opaque lip. Okay, I don't have anything like any of these crowns or anything, but one of these photos just has like a lacy kind of headpiece, which I don't have, but I have this like black spiderweb one, and I think it kind of could substitute. It's kind of like a gothier version of that, but I don't know if I even care about this part of it at all. I don't know. I think this would be cute for like the picture, because I want to take a picture of this, but I don't actually really care about this headpiece at all, to be honest. Anyway, this was fun. I think this is cute. This was not as intimidating as I thought it was gonna be. It was actually a lot of fun and I love it. Let me know if you are into this. I want to do more like recreations of art. Okay, Luna wants to go. I love you. Yeah, let me know if you want to see anything else like this. I'm totally down. All of my social media will be linked down below. Let's be friends. I love TikTok right now, so I post on there all the time. I post every day on Instagram, so yeah. And as always, I just want to say thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.